What's up? This is your host, Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And I definitely miss you guys. I miss doing these videos. I took a break for 2 days, but now I'm back and up and running. So 2 days ago, I shared with you that Galaxy came out with a survey making different type of, claims or saying that a lot of NFT projects do not really confer the rights to the NFT owners. And I think it is a really interesting topic to discuss. So this is the article. It's called A Survey of NFT Licenses, Facts and Fiction. So before I begin, I have to let you know that I am not a lawyer. I have not, studied in the legal profession. So there might be some terms when it comes to copyrights, when it comes to trademark that I am unfamiliar, but I will try to use my best understanding to share with you about, NFT licenses and also facts and fiction, okay? So first of all, the article basically talks about, what do you really own when you buy an NFT, right? It is a rhetorical question, right? So, people are saying buying JPEG. Are you buying the ownership of the JPEG? Are you buying the community behind the JPEG? Are you buying the membership behind the JPEG, right? So basically they have an introduction and then they talk about how NFT, trading volume, decrease based on Ethereum marketplaces. And this is absolutely the reason, one of the reasons of the bear market, right? As the market goes down, the crypto market goes down, people de-risk, people sell the NFTs. So basically, they're saying that although the volume is down, it is kind of like a revolutionary thing for ownership rights, okay? So their key takeaway is that the vast majority of NFTs convey certain intellectual property ownership of the underlying content, artwork, media, etc., okay? So they're saying that a lot of NFT collections do not give you the right property ownership of the art, okay? Many issuers, including the largest Yuga Labs, which is the studio behind Bored Ape Yacht Club, appear to have misled NFT purchasers as to the intellectual property right for the content they sell. So this is like a acquisition of Yuga Labs saying that, hey, actually Bored Apes owners, you don't own that art, right? You are misleading some people, right? They even talked about, Moonbirds, right? So only one NFT collection, the top 25 by market capitalization, even attempts to counter intellectual property rights to the purchasers of the NFT, which is World of Women. The CCO, like Creative Commons license, while seen as a solution to the restricted licenses used by most projects, renders NFT ownership obsolete from a legal perspective and it moved the intellectual property fully into the public domain, making it impossible for NFT holders to defend their ownership rights in court. So their approach is more like, okay, is this NFT right convertible from a legal basis, right? It's not just like, oh, trust me, you get this right, but it's more like whether legally you contest in court whenever there's any arguments regarding the usage of the NFT. And then they're saying that without improvement in the on-chain representation and transfer of intellectual property rights from NFT issuers to NFT token holders, the expansive version of Web3 will remain unrealized. Okay, so first of all, they talk about NFTs. The ERC 721 standard. It is a license. So everything is licensed. It is not like the ownership of the art itself. So that's what they're trying to purport. Okay, so saying that everything is right, a license. So they first came out about, in the US, what is recognized as the copyright, right? The copyright is the form of ownership in the digital content that they have in the US. Without copyright, a purchaser of digital content does not own that content, but instead licenses that content, right? So say for example, you in the past you buy DVD, right? When you buy the DVD, you are given a license to play the digital media, right? You're being licensed to play the video, but you do not own the video itself, right? So this is what they're trying to bring up. The whole article basically is saying that when you buy an NFT, you're actually just given a license to use the artwork, right? That artwork itself, the traits of these NFTs are not owned by you, okay? So ownership of NFTs, so to talk about it, a lot of details on first sale doctrine and stuff like that, copyright and trademark. So copyright protects, literary and artistic material, original work of authorship. The rights is given to the copy holders are structured to protect the creator, right? So the creator themselves have the copyright, ownership, right? Trademark is more about items that define a brand, logo, slogan, and look. The rights given to trademark holders are structured to protect consumers from confusion. They also protect the creator by maintaining the business reputation, right? So they talked about how copyrights could be transferred in the real world, okay? So there must be like a be writing, be signing on behalf of the transferring party, right? So it is a legal thing, right? Okay, so most copyright assignments are effectuated through what is called an IP assignment agreement. The very same type of agreement Lava Labs executed with Yuga Labs when Lava sold its IP in CryptoPunk and Meebits to Yuga Labs. So a while back, Lava Labs sold the rights to the IP to for CryptoPunks and Meebit, and then it was in writing. It was a legal document. So that's how you can transfer the copyright, right? So the types of NFT licenses, so they talk about one of the several type of NFT licenses that are very common in the big market cap. Commercial right? So the first one is commercial right. You can monetize the artwork freely, no cap on revenue in any value or format for any length of time. So basically, let's say if you own this, you could sell t-shirts with the NFT art, sell as much as you want, no cap, okay? Limited commercial right, it basically there will be a cap. So if you sell this t-shirt, if you make more than X amount of dollars, then it will be capped, right? Personal use, you can only have limited display rights in a personal environment, but you cannot make money off the artwork in any respect. Creative Commons basically means that the artwork is placed in public domain. So they kind of explain about the Azuki license and also how the license gives you unlimited monetization rights, right? And then another one, Doodle uses the limited copyright because Doodle there is a limit of merchandise sales to 100,000. Okay. Personal use of VFans. VFans is actually for non-commercial purposes, solely for the personal use, right? To show to assets, right? Creative Commons, they talk about how this is actually in the public domain, and they all actually talked about how basically Moonbird's holders was being robbed because of this. So when we go down, right, they talk about the major NFT project licenses and they talk about the contradictions in that. So for example, in Yuga Labs, for example, Bored Ape Yacht Club, they're highlighting that actually the agreement that you have, there is some contradictions, right? And also this is a licensing term. So basically what it means that they are licensing you the right to use the NFT. They are licensing you the right to use the Bored Ape XYZ, but you do not own the XYZ. You are not the copyright holder itself. The copyright holder itself is actually Yuga Labs, right? The IP ownership is actually Yuga Labs. So I think that's the biggest debate. The biggest debate is that, the ownership is actually owned by the NFT creators themselves rather than really being owned by the NFT holders, right? So they compared the CryptoPunk new license. Okay, so Yuga Labs released a new license agreement for CryptoPunk on August 13th. This event has further placed the discussion whether NFT licenses in the spotlight due to Yuga Labs acknowledging that the right to unilaterally update or alter the license terms for this project. So basically, this really means is that after buying the IP rights from Lava Labs, Yuga Labs can change the licensing, right? They can change the rights. So basically, that raises a concern, and that means that, hey, Yuga Labs, you are licensing the Bored Apes and stuff like that, and it basically means that you can unilaterally withdraw these copyrights. You can withdraw the license for me to use the ape. It really depends on whether they want to give you or not, right? There is this concern, right? So it really shows you this concern, okay? While the licenses of BAYs is unclear and potentially misleading, new licenses from Yuga Labs, including the new CryptoPunks and Meebits license, are significantly more professional and explicit in the ownership and license term. So at this point, given the disparity between Yuga Labs' BAYC license and its newer license, it is unclear whether Yuga Labs intend to confer identical commercial rights to holders of apes and punk. Okay, if Yuga Labs does not intend for the licenses to be functionally identical, they should update the BAYC to remove misleading phrases like "you own the underlying Bored Ape, the art completely." So then they talk about other side deed. So they talk about for the art for other side deed, you basically don't own the art. Unlike the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, but for the Coda license agreement, you, however, own full commercial right to the art of that. But this is a commercial license, right? It is a license that could be revoked if wanted. Okay, so Moonbird is even worse according to them. So in the beginning, Moonbird say you own the IP, right? You own the right of the IP, but suddenly, on August 8, 2022, no, so this is what happened, right? August 8, 2022, you can still see this, right? But at August 18, what happened is that Moonbird's team decided to turn the project into CCO, which is Creative Commons, which basically means that the IP is in the public domain. So anyone can actually use that IP to create derivative projects to make money out of it, right? So that's why we see Moonbird version 2 coming out on OpenSea and making a lot of money, right? So according to this article, it says that actually Moonbird holders did not own the IP by changing the license, right? So proof exactly just changed the license, right? Which is a question mark for the user whether they would revoke the license, right? Proof implicitly acknowledged that the statement on this website was and always was false, right? IP owners can unilaterally alter a revoked commercial use license at any time without prior notification to NFT holders. So CCO licenses are perhaps too permissive, right? Anyone can use that license. So what does it mean to be the holder? So the holder basically lost the right to the profile pictures, right? Some people bought the Moonbird because the Moonbird is you are the Moonbird. They want to monetize it, but now the right is gone. Anyone can do it, right? You are no special by holding that Moonbird in terms of the IP rights licenses, right? So they did say that World of Women is actually more open, to transfer the full IP rights to NFT holders, right? They attempt to this through the provision of a novel copyright assignment agreement. Under this copyright assignment agreement, World of Women attempts to create a governance structure in which the copyright of each World of Women runs with the NFT, such that whoever owns the NFT owns the copyright. Okay, so this copyright assignment agreement is intended to govern the terms and conditions of the assignment of all rights, title, and interest, and in the intellectual property rights on the art. In other words, the World of Women project is attempting to transfer all the copyright to the artwork, whomever owns the World of Women NFT. So it really shows how the wording for the licensing, the terms and stuff like that could make a night and day difference. But the problem with this is that despite its noble effect, it's unclear whether the IP assignment agreement continues to govern downstream sales to secondary purchaser, right? Concretely, if an original minter sells the World of Women on OpenSea to a secondary purchaser, it is not sure whether the seller is required to transfer the IP to the secondary buyer. So all of this is a question mark. Say, for example, if someone uses a Mutant Ape Yacht Club for a product and then sells the mutant ape, then that product is still here. Can they still do that by no longer holding that NFT, right? Despite the fact that the World of Women IP assignment agreement demands that to be the case, unless both minter and secondary purchaser agree to these terms, there's no guarantee that IP assignment agreement will pass from the minter to the secondary purchaser. So basically, this license is actually given to the first minter rather than being transferable, right, in terms of the wording, right? Then they talk about different major metaverse licenses for Decentraland and Sandbox, how they, there is no right in terms of the artwork of the land, but user-generated content, they try to be more open to that, right? So that's the conclusion. What they think is that, NFT holders should fight for the IP rights, right? Right now, the protection that's afforded to NFT users, and especially the money that you're actually paying, isn't justified, right? So you should fight for it, right? And also, these agreements must be fixed for Web3 to have a chance. So it is a agreement issue. It is some terminology issue in order to have a chance. The decentralized metaverse requires intellectual property, right? Okay. So I think this is a really interesting reading. You can definitely check it out. Link in description below. I'll also attach another one, which is a research paper by someone who's from Singapore, who's in the faculty, so Calvin, The Empire's New Art, right? Cryptomania, Art and Property. So the latest wave of Cryptomaniac has brought us another acronym after ICOs, NFTs, touted as means to render readily replicatable digital art and also other objects rare and scarce, which is apology with the auction of people's everyday NFT. But did the buyer actually acquire through the NFT any art, right? And also, what does it mean for the copyright? So basically, it shares the same sentiment like this in terms of the licenses. But this is a research paper that's actually pretty interesting. Of course, the writer himself is actually quite negative in terms of the Web3 space, but he is not wrong in his analysis, right? He goes through the technical aspect, right? He goes through the idea of the non-fungible token, how it could be fungible and how it could be flawed, and also how legally there is no right protecting the holders, and that all of this is pretty much, I don't think he exactly say scam, but he alerted to be a scam. But all that is gold does not, all that is glitter does not mean it's gold, right? So basically, it does not mean that you cannot make money out of this, right? So this is basically what it is about. Okay, so it's interesting. It concludes, the emperor's new clothes, right? The emperor wears no clothes but the emperor was being sold that he actually wears clothes. So he allures that the NFT space is actually like that. So different opinion. Won't go too deep into this. This is very academic, it is very technical, it is very illegal. So I won't go through into detail, but link in the description below. And I appreciate insights like this, right? And also insights like this. And we also have to ask, why are you spending so much money to buy something that you don't own in terms of the copyright, but you only own the license that could be revoked if the copyright issuer feels like it, right? So move on to traditional news. The market themselves in general is okay, I believe. Still choppy because of Jackson Hole. For those of you who do not know, the Feds have a meeting at the place called Jackson Hole, which will basically give some insight on what they feel. But the market is rallying in a sense that there are people shorting it, but at the same time, people are still buying it, hoping that maybe inflation and the Feds are tightening wouldn't be as worse as expected. Crypto market as a result now is back at 1.05 trillion. Okay, increase in the market cap. Bitcoin at 21,703, Ethereum at 1,705. So we broke that 1,700. In terms of the market cap for the stablecoin went down. Basically, it means that money has moved from stablecoins to cryptocurrency, and this is actually supported by the sea of green that we see here in the market today. Crypto dominance, Bitcoin at 40.43, which is quite low compared to a while back. It is trending downwards, and actually you do see that because of the ETH 2.0 merge, the Ethereum dominance is going up, right? So it's interesting to see that the ETH merge to bringing some excitement to the space. So, crypto news, if you look at this, I want to share with you Y Combinator. So Y Combinator is a investing company. So one of the interesting things is that they have this list of breakthrough companies recently released. Stripe, Instacash, DoorDash, these are actually Web2 companies, right? But you actually have Coinbase and OpenSea here, which is a Web3 company, which they think is innovative and is ranked 4 and 5. So it shows that Web3 companies are getting some exposure in terms of the technological space and are being acknowledged, right? This is what we're saying. Crypto stocks edge high at Jackson Hole inches closer. Okay. Markets have found reprieve from the recent tumbles ahead of Jerome Powell's speech on Friday. So he will have a speech. So the market is split on what the outcome would be. So it could be positive, it could be negative in terms of the rate hikes. If it's negative, market could see a huge dump because of how fast it went up. But if it's positive, then we could see a huge bump as well. So have you noticed that in the crypto space or the market so far is so choppy in the sense that all of this event could cause a huge volatility, right? In general, look at this. Samsung's late crypto exchange launch in South Korea for 2023. Okay, interesting. Mass adoption happening in South Korea. Because Nvidia has limited visibility on crypto mining impact. So there's a lack of impact in terms of the reduce in the crypto mining. Coinbase announced CB Coinbase ETH wrapped Ethereum staking tokens so that they could provide liquidity for trading. Disagreement between YouTubers, lawsuit and stuff like that. And also cyber criminals have stolen more than 100 million in NFTs according to a report. And then if you look at this, the Ethereum merge yesterday has an official date. So the Bellatrix update, which is kind of like the last update that begins the last countdown, is gonna be active on September 6th, right? So the merge itself will be completed at some point in September 10th and 20th. So they are saying that there's a chance that internally the merge could potentially happen on September 15th or 16th. So basically what happened is that once this upgrade releases, right, the difficulty for mining Ethereum would be increased. So the more difficult it is, the less people are likely to mine that Ethereum, and then they will move to the proof of stake chain. And hence, therefore, we have the merge, because right now we have a beacon chain, and then you have the proof of work chain, and now we are going to slightly transition as the the mining becoming more and more unprofitable to the proof of stake blockchain. Okay, so that pretty much sums up the Ethereum merge in a very simple way. Look at this crypto news. We talked about this, and also okay, why don't we talk about NFT and also the metaverse, right? So LFG news, Azuki is teasing something new. Kingship, I'm going to show with you later. Zach shared about, a while back we have a lot of Twitter NFT influencers being hacked, so he might identify the person. Defense is partnering with Seeing Witherspoon's iconic vintage shop. Having some sort of offline type of presence. More than 100 million worth of NFT sold. Talked about it. Baby Shark's second NFT collection is set to launch on Marketplace. So it's a 10K generated collection project. Okay, interesting. Okay, So I want to share this. This is interesting. Right now in Decentraland, what is happening is that there's a Metaverse Art Week. Okay. They are doing a crossover. So basically in Spatial, you can actually have a portal and then jump into Decentraland. Decentraland, I'm not sure if it jump back to Spatial, right? But it really shows there's a series of exhibition that's happening. Super interesting. Okay. Exhibition links between Decentraland Art Plaza and the Meta Villa in the Spatial Live from these few days, right? So definitely check it out. And I think this is beautiful in the sense that they are promoting interoperability. They are promoting a connection from one side to another side. Talking about interoperability, Sandbox launched the season 2, season alpha, season 3 yesterday. And now you can actually use download the Sandbox game, play it, and really exciting. If we talk about interoperability, this is the Sandbox Alpha Season 3. Comment below if you want me to do a live stream playing the game and also share my thoughts about it. I've done it for Alpha Season 2. But right now, if you own NFTs from them or if you own land, it is you have a new path that's guaranteed to give you Sandbox token, but that's not a lot. But for this one, in order to claim tokens, you have to KYC. So that's something new. So I was talking about interoperability. You can actually get avatars, right? So avatars right now for Season Alpha 3, what they're doing is that if you own NFT for other projects, right? Bored Ape Yacht Club, People of Crypto, World of Women, Coolcast, and stuff like that, your avatar could be used here, right? So this is a way of them trying to build interoperability for this platform. So it will be interesting, right? So my account is not verified yet. I have to do KYC, but they are gonna have different type of experience. This is gonna run all the way to November. So no rush, but definitely check out Alpha Season 3. Will be interesting to see the different type of experiences. Day 1, right? You have Club XYZ featuring Steve Aoki, Warner Music Land, and yeah. So talking about music, right? I want to talk about Kings, right? So for those of you who remember correctly, Kingship is actually the Bored Ape Yacht Club and also Mutant Ape band that was created by Universal Music Group. Okay, so they decided to partner with NMMs, which is actually from Mars, right? So they partnered with NMMs to create a Bored Ape Yacht, a Kingship M&Ms, right? So they did this video, there's some music about it, and it's pretty cool. And the really interesting thing is that they posted this yesterday, and then this is the product, right? This is the landing page, and it is the supergroup. Okay, so basically this is a collaboration between Universal Music and also Mars, right? Mars. So it really shows you how Web2 companies are embracing the space and also working with each other to do something, right? So their limited edition of gold 100 gift box actually sold out in an hour or two when I checked it out, right? And this box is actually like $99.9 US for M&M. So it's actually an expensive box, but it's sold out. So they're also selling limited edition celebratory gift box and also a limited edition gift jar. But it really shows you this is not, I don't think it's gonna be a long-term line. It is not a permanent line, but it's more like a crossover, right? So it really shows you how brands can actually work with other different type of Web3 brands to try something new, to dabble the toes into the Web3 space by launching a special project. Okay, so that's it, guys. That's today's episode. A bit longer because we're talking about copyrights and stuff. If you missed that, you feel free to go back there. Yeah, that's it, guys. This is your host, Non-Fungible TC. You like the content, like and subscribe. If you think I should do a Sandbox live stream, comment below in the comment description below. Hope you enjoyed this. This is your host and learn something new, right, about NFT rights and ownership. This is your host, Non-Fungible TC, signing out.